us for the town board meeting of November 5th, 2025. We did not have an executive session, ended up not having a quorum, so there were just two of us. If you could please rise if you're able for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'll take a moment to congratulate all those who were re-elected or elected at Election Day, and thank you to all the poll workers and our clerk's office for managing the elections. It all seemed to go smoothly, and we look forward to those of us elected. We look forward to serving the community in the year ahead. The first thing on our agenda before we have our public hearing is a presentation by our Rev Up group. We have the members of our steering committee here with us today, and it's been an opportunity that we've been talking about, celebrating or commemorating the 250th anniversary of the Revolution and the signing of the Declaration of Independence. So I would like to welcome the group up to the podium to share with us what's in store in 2026 for Rev Up 250. So thank you for joining us. Are we starting with Anne?
Hi, good evening.
Hi, thank you for being here.
My name is Anne Foray. My husband and I have lived in Katonah for over a decade, and we have 3 children. I am honored to be here tonight as the chairperson of the steering committee to introduce Bedford Rev Up 250. And the idea of Rev Up is to celebrate how the seeds of self-governance and free will planted in the Declaration of Independence 250 years ago have blossomed into a town vibrant with commerce, volunteerism, artistic endeavor, and civic participation. Before I present our very brief mission statement, I would like to introduce 4 members of our very talented steering committee. Christopher Delaney is a professional graphic designer who was kind enough to create the Rev Up branding you will be seeing. He's also a member of the Katonah Fire Department and the Bedford Historic Commission. He's married and has a child attending Katonah Elementary School. Jen Weege, a Bedford Hills resident, is the business promoter for the town of Bedford. Lisa Lancia is our community coalition coordinator, and she's also a longtime resident of Katonah and an enthusiastic fan of our many parks, preserves, and historical sites. Tim Kuklis is a Bedford resident, a social studies teacher at New Rochelle High School with a focus on teaching civics, which will come in very handy because he is our youth engagement coordinator. So, on that,
Thank you.
Krista's going to take it away.
Are you going to read the mission?
statement?
You mentioned
I'll
a
read
mission
the mission
statement.
statement.
Thank you.
All right.
That's the next slide.
How do I do that? Oh, the arrow. Cool.
It's 2 slides.
2 slides. As our nation commemorates the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, we will celebrate with a town-wide effort to help foster historical awareness and civic pride while encouraging all generations to nurture the values of democracy, participation, and shared purpose. Together, we will commemorate our past and inspire a future rooted in civic awareness, civil discourse, unity of purpose, democratic values, community service, and opportunity for all. Thank you. All right, Chris.
Beautiful.
You're up.
Thank you, Anne.
Hello, and congratulations to everyone.
Thank you.
Ellen,
Chris.
Stephanie, and Allie. So when it came to the design for Rev Up, we designed a modern mark rooted in American history, using red, white, and blue, but maybe doing it in a different way. The clean design signals unity, participation, and forward momentum, while subtle historical cues connect to the 250th anniversary. The logo reflects the mission, celebrating our shared heritage, fostering civic pride, and inspiring all generations to engage in democracy and community. And the logo that we landed on is this simple mark. It says Rev Up 1776 to 2026, 250 Town of Bedford. You can start to see the world that we're creating with it. This is still a work in progress, but we're developing colors and and a whole world. And I think if you kind of go in to see some of the other things that we've made, you'll start to see how this can live, not just in a hypothetical stage. We can bring in other parts of the community, you know, however we feel it makes sense, and bring it into this lockup as well. And then we can just showing an example of what a poster could look like. Another poster, you know, what we can do possibly with small businesses, you know, things that people can take away, whether it's a notebook or a water bottle. I'll hand it
Thank
to
you,
for
Chris.
the
That's
launch event.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Really, that's really nice. I know our committee, the committee, I was there when you gave the presentation initially, and everyone was really excited, and it looks great. So thank you so much.
So, hello, friends. So, to go with this is going to be a launch event to launch this for our community and work with our coalition partners in making Rev Up 1776 Tavern Night at Historic Hall on January 30th from 5 to 8 p.m. We're going to have a tent outdoors also. You know, we're going to make sure we're highlighting all the amazing events that are going to be happening throughout the year with our coalition partners and within our community. So you see some of that great swag we keep talking about. That's really great. But imagine a dim, rustic, like old tavern vibe inside Historical Hall, right? And you've got lanterns and you've got the barrel tables and there's great music. And you're talking about join the Sons of Liberty and no taxation without representation, and really bring you back to that vibe and then show what the forward can look like, right? So now we're celebrating all the amazing things that are happening now based off of what happened in 1776 to bring it forward. So how incredible could this feel and sound? And you'll leave with a scroll of all the calendar of events for the town. Like how it's just going to be fun, and kids will be able to come, and it'll be a great community night for all of us. We're going to work with our coalition partners to really have crafts for kids to do, different activities to happen. It's going to feel like a great evening in January. Oh, we have coalition that's going to talk about their coalition night.
Great, thank you.
You're
And a
welcome.
great opportunity to bring everyone in town together around the year ahead. Thanks, Jen.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Lisa.
Thank you. That was terrific. It's very exciting. My name is Lisa Lancia. I am the chair of the Community Coalition subgroup. We've been focusing on outreach to nonprofit organizations in the town, which began in September with an email inquiry soliciting interest in learning more about Rev Up 2026 and or sharing any plans our nonprofit partners might have to celebrate the 250th anniversary. This was followed up by a brief presentation once again on Rev Up 2026 at the quarterly meeting of nonprofits that took place last month. And we've had fantastic and very robust response thus far. For example, we have the fireworks taking place at Carramore on July 4th. We have John J. Homestead putting together a traveling exhibition on the Declaration in coordination with the Bedford Historical Society and with New York State Parks. They are also doing a Friends 2026 lecture series to be offered at the Bedford Playhouse, which is very exciting. And a final example is the Bedford Audubon Society that is planning to consider ways to feature the flora and fauna that would have been in this area 250 years ago. So those are just examples of some of the ways our community coalition partners are thinking of engaging with us. Partners have been invited to attend the November meeting of the larger working group. They will be seeing this presentation at that time, and we're hoping bringing everyone together will inspire them to consider ways that they could be involved, that they could participate, and that they could consider events that could be then placed on the magical scroll that will be distributed at our launch event on January 30th. So that's, in a nutshell, that's where we are with the Community Coalition partners. Thank you so
Great.
much.
Thank you, Lisa. Excellent.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Tim Kuklis. I'm a Bedford resident. And so over the summer, when there was a email sent out soliciting community members to celebrate the 250th, I think I might have been the most excited person in Bedford for that, being a civics teacher. And so I was very happy to join. And then I think my experience teaching, this is my 20th year, can be really valuable in terms of getting students involved. So far I've been able to reach out to the schools. I've been in communication with them, and there does seem to be a lot of interest. So I think one of the best paths forward for us is to form a youth board and really try to let students steer the way in how they want to celebrate this. I'm a big believer that we are a nation of ideals, and those ideals are founded in the Declaration, and that's something that brings us all together. And I think for young people, it's really important that they understand that we are a country dedicated to civics, dedicated to each other in that way. And so if we can find ways for students to kind of get their feet into the community and realizing their efficacy in terms of civics, I think this will be a really valuable endeavor. So there's a lot more to come. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Excellent. Well, great work so far. Thank you so much. This is a huge opportunity to really lean into celebrating what ties us all together as a nation and clearly in our community with civic participation and service and history and shared values. And I look forward to that meeting on the 18th that Lisa mentioned with the coalition members who are really driving a lot of the events, kicking off at the launch event, which Jen outlined. So thank you so much. I would really just like to pass a formal resolution appointing this group as our lead steering committee for this Rev Up 250. And so I'll just make a motion so that it goes into the minutes to appoint Anne Foray as chair and the members Chris Delaney, Jen Weege, Lisa Lancia, and Tim Kuklis as our steering committee for the Rev Up 250 Town of Bedford year ahead. Do we have a motion to approve?
First, I'm going to second.
Okay, that's right. I already made the motion. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Thanks, Ally. And thank you all so much. We're looking forward to more updates and hearing more from the coalition. I know we've already had a lot of people from the coalition who've weighed in on a lot of this stuff. So we'll hear more from them at a future date. So thank you so much. Great job.
Thank you.
All right. Very good. Okay, so now we will move to open. We have two public hearings that we had set at our last meeting for this evening. So I would like to move to open those public hearings regarding the stop sign on Glen Road and Babbitt and regarding the stop signs on Babbitt and Franklin. We can, I think, move to open both public hearings.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we have Commissioner Wynn here to provide us with some more information, hear how it's been going at those locations. So thank you for joining us.
Sure. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So yes, we've implemented a pilot there over the last several months. Some of that was at the period when Babbitt, the intersection was closed, so we kind of agreed to extend the pilot until the roadway system there was back in its normal condition, which it has been. We've received mostly positive feedback. The police said it took a little while for people to get used to it, but some warnings and enforcement helped along the way.
Great.
Which is good. We've received two comments before this public hearing. Reed Govis here, I believe. I don't know if you want to speak about yours or if you want me to summarize. Yeah. No, I said comments. That's right. Yeah.
We received your comment, Rita, via email, and I know I shared it with Kevin and the board, but if you'd like to make any further comments at the microphone. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
So the substance of the comments was that on the Glen and Babbitt intersection, people traveling to the stop sign along Babbitt, basically they were stopping fine there coming up Glen. There was a concern about sight distance looking to the left and about people stopping right up to the stop sign, which is also a school bus stop. So on Glen, we had installed a no parking sign 20 feet before the stop sign, which basically just reinforces what is already state law. We'll do the same on Babbitt
On
before
Babbitt.
that stop sign. We hadn't seen a problem there as far as people parking there, but obviously they are, so we can. put
And
that
I
sign
think
up.
what we heard is that even though there is a sign indicating no parking, people are still parking there.
So on Babbitt, no, there is, although it's state law that you can't park 20 feet before a stop sign, we don't routinely put signs there unless there's a compliance issue or another reason for that.
Okay.
So we did that on Glen because there had been a compliance issue with that, but we did not do that on Babbitt. So we can add an additional sign on Babbitt, which doesn't require a change in law because it's just indicating what existing
Okay.
state law is.
And on Glen, there is a sign, but people disobey it. So we need more enforcement there of the rule. Okay,
Exactly.
got it. Okay,
So that will clear up the area by the stop sign and allow the bus stop to better function on the
okay,
Babbitt side.
okay. Great.
Sure.
And then the comments on Franklin were a little bit about the hedges, but there is a stop sign and there should be enforcement that people are actually stopping. at the
Exactly.
stop
On Franklin, it's a three-way stop sign, each direction at the intersection. And yes, we can ask the police to step up enforcement or warnings a little bit there just to make sure that people continue to comply with the stop sign on Babbitt.
Okay. But otherwise, we're seeing that the stop signs are useful and a positive change.
The biggest problem with the Franklin spot, it's very hard to sit at. I know even though I'm at school, I've heard it on patrol shifts, so they've talked about it. Unless you sit on Franklin, it's very hard to find a spot on Babbitt to sit and monitor it.
Okay.
So I know they were trying to work with some of the homeowners to try and see about getting it, but it's very hard for the police vehicle to monitor the direction of Babbitt. Franklin, you can kind of get down there, but those people aren't usually the ones running, it's the Babbitt ones that are running.
Okay, got it. You need your e-bikes. Or a radio somebody who's further down. Okay, so that's, a challenge, but maybe one we can try to address enforcement there on Babbitt. Okay.
So from a public hearing and change in law perspective, there really haven't been comments that would indicate that something different should be done as far as the locations of the stop signs or their functions. There are things we can do to enhance that, but I think at this point, the feedback on the temporary changes has been positive and would recommend that the board move forward to implement the necessary change in law unless there are further comments or questions.
Okay. Any other questions? Any questions from the board? Okay. It definitely changes the feeling of driving. I feel like it changes the feeling of driving when you have the stop signs. It feels more like a neighborhood. I think it makes you more just aware of the surroundings. I think it's a very positive change to have those stop signs on Babbitt. So I think, and we haven't heard that it's not a good thing from, we heard the two comments that it is a good thing. We just need to figure out the parking. Okay. Any other comments? No. All right, there being no further comments, I'll move that we close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries, and I'll make a motion that we adopt the modification to the local law to add the stop sign at Glen Road and Babbitt.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. And then do we have a motion to approve the local law to add the stop signs on Babbitt and Franklin?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Kevin, and the police who've been working on this as well. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Okay, we will move on to old business, where we have at our last meeting approved a contract regarding the new communication system. It's a contract with Crown Castle regarding antennas on one of the towers. I know that Officer Andy Klein has been working on this for quite some time. The wireless facilities working group has been a little bit involved. We got a big grant from the governor's office for technology, so thought it would be worthwhile to hear a little bit more about this really big project that most people don't know about. So thank you for coming,
You're
Andy,
welcome.
this evening and sharing a little more about that project with us.
You're welcome. Let's see if this goes up. Okay. Oh, there we go. All right. Thank you. For anybody that doesn't know me, I'm Andy Klein. I'm a 20-year member of the Bedford Police Department. I'm currently assigned as the SRO at the Fox Lane Middle School. But one of my duties have always been to do our fleet and our radio maintenance. Our radio system, since I got here 20 years ago, we've always had problems with it. We've done some small little upgrades, but nothing major. We got to a point where we're at end of life and we were just having so many problems that it was unreliable. Our last major upgrade was done in 2010, and that was when the FCC, which regulates all the federal communications systems, came up with a narrow banding mandate, which means they were trying to conglomerate some of the frequencies to utilize more frequencies at different levels of ranges. I tried to dime this down because I don't want to go into too many details and lose everybody in the weeds, but you go from a low frequency level all the way up to 800, 900, where some of the TV stations are. The lower the megahertz level, the further it goes, but the less penetration. So years ago, everybody was on lower frequency systems, which was great for rural areas. But as we start building up, you can't hear through houses or buildings.
So if
So-
you're inside a building.
Inside of
you
a building,
can't
yeah,
really-
like you can
and
hear
your
from here to
radio
Bedford Village
doesn't
loud
work.
and clear.
Right.
But if I was outside here, you couldn't hear me inside here.
Okay.
It's because the waves, it's a lower frequency, it's a further wave. So in 2010, we were mandated by the FCC to do that change. When they did that, the system design was for compliance, not modernization. We fought as the PBA, we fought with the chief at the time, listen, we're spending this money, and it was something that was not really listened to the point where we had certain areas that we would do traffic stops. People wouldn't want to do them out there, like by the causeway on 121, because you had no radio service. You knew if you got in a fight with someone, you were in trouble. So it changed our whole kind of train of traffic stops and enforcement because we had so many dead areas where we wouldn't have radio communications. Our equipment became outdated and reaching end of lifetime. There was no new equipment to replace it, no new parts if something went down. And it got to a point where they pretty much said our consoles, like if something goes down, they're done. We can't get you parts for it. The reason we replaced it was the need. Dispatch consoles were obsolete, no longer serviceable. We used to be on current system was on copper wire, and legitimate. Every time it would rain, you would either lose a sight or you would be crackling, and you could just because of the technology. We did have to change it over from a Verizon mandate to fiber optics, which was a good thing. We had to kind of retrofit our old system, but it helped us for the move to the new future systems because we would need it anyway. The weather-related outages I talked about, whenever it would rain, we would lose one of our tower sites, and I'll go into the tower sites we have. So we've upgraded to fiber. The reliability and quality is much better now. And it got to a point where the industry standard says 8 years is about the service life of electronics and technology. Unfortunately, we never kept up with that. We just kind of kept on going like something broke, we try and get repaired to the point where our portables, we send them out like, we can't fix these anymore. Like this, just throw it away. So we got into a corner there. Our system improvements, when we started looking at the system, is what we were going to do. This went back to Chris Burdick days when they were first starting the Guard Hill Tower. We were working with the county on the new trunking system that the fire department used. They were going to start rolling out to the police departments. It was one of those, we promise you this, but there was no timeline involved with it, and there was no guarantee we would be the first after the county police on it, which they're just starting to get onto it now. So it was an unknown. And that would have been a total upgrade as well because it was switching to a trunk system, which includes a lot different equipment than we're currently using. So our old system was a one transmit receive site at Guard Hill Road, so which means everything that we would hear from our radios would all come from Guard Hill Road. We had 3 receive sites, which would take our radios when we talked on our portable radios and decide which one was the best. So we have one at Mount Avenue, Mount Kisco, Indian Hill, and Katona Park, and the headquarters. And it would listen and say, okay, this person's at the townhouse, Bedford Police has the best signal. It would take that signal in through the fiber optic and send it out on the radio from Guard Hill. The problem with that is we would get decent penetration and distance, but it wouldn't be great because it was only coming out from our one spot in town. when we started looking at the systems and talking to Motorola, the engineering company, and ESS, our vendor, we said, how can we correct this and make this system better? And they recommended a 3 transmit receive site versus our single. So that would mean instead of one place transmitting our voice out, it would be coming from 3 places in town, and you would hear that throughout the town. So with a new infrastructure system, we'll have 3 transmit receive sites: Guard Hill, Fox Lane, and Taconic. And it kind of triangulates the town a little bit. We'll also have 3 receive only sites: the Mountain Avenue, which we currently had, Bedford Poach, which is a new one that we switched from our Indian Hill, and the Katona Fire Tower on top of the hill, along with Bedford Police. This will provide us with greater coverage, redundancy, and signal strength throughout the town and our building structures that we have. We decided to keep on our current system just because our frequency system we have is called 155. It's a VHF system. It's a very good middle ground between range and penetration. So we have the ability with our terrain in this town to get around without having a radio site at like every corner, because it has a distance to carry versus some of the higher frequencies you get, like cell phones. That's why you need so many cell phone towers and you need stuff, because it just goes close range. It gets great into like New York City, into buildings or concrete structures, but it doesn't give you range. In here, that guy before me did a much better job on the graphics, so don't mind my graphics, but I kind of did, the blue just kind of shows our current receive only sites that we will be having, and then reds will be our new transmit site. So it kind of shows you, not really a triangulation, but it gives you a better view of our town, and it's spread out for that range. One of our always bad areas was out on 121 by the Causeway, and then with a Taconic being added, that should shadow that whole area and give us transmit down there. And with the Bedford Post being added, we now should be able to receive from there.
And these are all already tall structures that
Correct.
you could put the antennas on.
Yep.
and the
So
equipment.
most of these structures
on the
are already
ground.
there.
Yeah.
What we've done is switch the antennas, just because some of our antennas were 20, 30 years old, and the cabling, so it's acceptable and going to last us for probably another 20, 30 years.
Right. And we've got agreements in all these places now, which
Correct.
we couldn't quite find.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. Yes.
So one of the
It's been a
systems,
lot of work, though. I understand all of that has
Yeah.
been a lot of work with our attorneys and the police department. So
yeah, it's been crazy.
Yeah.
So one of our main system improvements has been our old dispatch terminals. We had 2 dispatch terminals at the police headquarters. There was no modern functionality or scalability to those. The system components were obsolete and unsupported by the manufacturer. Limited interoperability and communication systems, and we couldn't patch frequencies through. So if we had an incident where we're working with the ambulance corps or the fire department or another agency, we couldn't really talk to each other. Whereas with our new system, we'll have 3 dispatch terminals for storm-related incidents and major incidents. We'll also have the ability to patch things through. So I could take one frequency, patch it to another frequency, and you're going to hear it on both radios through our headquarters now.
Great.
We'll also be able to patch a call. Say you're out somewhere and you got to take a phone call from headquarters. You actually will be able to patch a phone call through to the radio. So if the chief's out there, or lieutenant needs to make a phone call, or you need to send something through that's a hardwired phone, you actually can patch that through. And we will have some encryption levels, so not everybody's hearing it. It will provide seamless communication during major emergencies. We'll have multiple channels on our radio system. So now we'll be able to hear everybody communicate and be kind of a communication sensor where we can actually talk to everybody and know what's going on, versus having 3 radios, a portable, maybe this to kind of hear what's going on. It will be set up really as a communication center, our terminals now. The system is fully scalable, so down the road, we want to start really going with the OEM and an EOC. We can do a laptop, and that could be our radio terminal, and Dominic could be sitting right in here, and this could be our communication center. So it's scalable down the future to where we want to go, which we didn't have. God forbid we have a major emergency, we have to relocate out of there. Right now, we couldn't do that, where with this, we could plug a laptop into internet, and we can have our radios pretty much anywhere down the road. Interoperability enhancements. We're switching from analog to digital. The main thing with that is it's like the old school telephone versus a new one. It's the clarity. It takes everything and synthesizes it, so you get better clarity and understanding of what's going over the radio versus the old VHF system, versus the old analog system. It also gives you a little bit better coverage because it increases power into the voice and gives it more. If someone's a light speaker, you'll hear it better because it's synthesizing it into a better level. We've switched, which is a huge thing. It was a big push that I really pushed. Is we went to multi-band portables. So our portables we carry in our radios now in our vehicles are every frequency you can match. Like tune in Tokyo back in the day, we could tune in Tokyo. Like we can get any radio frequency you need in our radios, including Stamford, Connecticut, Greenwich, Connecticut. We're working on having their stuff. But the interoperability, because of our new radios that we're carrying now as our portables and our mobiles, give us the ability to use multiple systems, which we never had the ability to. Our radios were only set for 155, and that's all we can get. So now we have the ability. Currently, we're operating off the MTA system, which was a no-cost system to the town. The main reason we didn't move to that fully is we don't own it. If something goes down, and it's down in New York City, we're down here. Can you help us out? We'll get on it maybe tomorrow. And that was a big concern of the chief and the lieutenants of, we have no ownership of this. Like, if it goes down, what do? We just can't not operate. So it's been a good system. There's some areas in the village that aren't great, but this was a system that with our new radios, we were able to get these two frequencies that don't cost us anything, and we're able to utilize. So we're currently using that right now. We use it on special events, and the beauty of it is no one has it. So the old, what we used to call scanner world. So we'd be at an incident, and all people be looking around and be, oh, we heard you had this last night. Like, no, you're not hearing anything we have. Like, it's a private channel, which is very nice to have. We also took over through our merge of this new system is the former Mount Kisco Police VHF frequency. So they had Mount Kisco Police had a frequency when they had their police department. They operated out of the Kisco Water Tower. And when they kind of left and county took over, they just kind of let the system sit there, and they kind of used it a little bit, didn't. When Chief Spinelli, who was a county police officer in charge of radio communications, before he left, we asked him, what are you guys doing? It's like, we're doing nothing with it, you guys. So Mount Kisco pretty much gave it to us. All we had to do was license it in our name. So the equipment was given to us. It's sitting up there. Who knows how long it will last? It's still in pretty good shape, but it gives us another frequency, a VHF frequency we could talk on. That really didn't cost us much money besides getting it licensed in our name, which was done through ESS. And in our last redundancy, we're in the Westchester County trunk system, which is what back in the day Chris got them to promise us. But there's still no track to getting a police frequency. There's been talks that there'll be police frequencies and there'll be zones. So like it might be Nordcastle, Newcastle, Bedford, Pound Ridge on one frequency. We're like, that doesn't really work where that's how the fire department does it. But like we operate different than like fire department when we're doing traffic stops and stuff like that. So we're not sure where that's going to go, but we have that ability to use now. We have our hotline that comes over the UHF. We could talk to the fire department if we need to from our portables. So it's given us a lot of redundancy and capabilities with having these multi-band radios. You mentioned the wireless committee. The wireless committee has been working tremendously to develop a lot of cell phone communication locations, and we've also worked where they would work for radio communication. It's been a tremendous help to help us on a stopgap for different areas. We talked about Indian Hill, which was on a telephone pole. Now it's on a physical structure. It's higher. It's better. Verizon gave us battery generator backup on it. They put our equipment up there. So really we had to pay for the equipment, but they did the whole install for us. And as we've been working with other towers, the DEP tower is in the process of going through. When that goes, it'll be the same thing. In our legislation we write is emergency services get top priority, and which is usually the top of the pole, which the cell phone carriers don't really want. So it works out good for us because it gives us the ability to get out further with our radio system. Like I said, we've been working with the tower companies, and they've been very good to us with helping us. that generator thing was a good thing that they did for us on Verizon, on Bedford Post, because otherwise if the system went down, we'd have battery backup, but who knows how long you're gonna be out, whereas now we never have to worry about that site going down, even though it's just a receive site only. Future planning. I won't be here, but budgetary for replacement every 8 to 10 years should be something we should think about. I don't know who's going to be the key players, but we're going to get to the same place. We're going to be totally out of the game. The problem kind of rolls in now. We bought all this equipment in one spot, but down the road, we probably could look at maybe a few years before it expires, get a few things here, a few things there, so it's not a one big whack.
Yeah.
It's hard to do when you do a total replacement, but it's something I think we really should look into the future for whoever's going to be in these seats, making life easier and a little bit smarter way to go. Avoid falling behind with technology again. Incorporate refresh cycles into capital planning. We've also talked about once the system's up and running, we'll see our down spots, our spots we don't have very good coverage. Currently, right now, I'm at the school. They can't communicate with me at the school. The radios don't work in the school because there's so much concrete and steel. When the new system's up, we're going to see how that works. And the school district's also involved and willing to help us. There is a new building code law that requires any new structures, commercial, to do an emergency service radio coverage needs. And that was actually, Matt Whalen got that to me because they contacted him for the storage facility on Adams Street, actually had to do it. And when they did it, they were doing the emergency service, they were doing the fire side. And he's like, well, what about the police? So they did both. So that building actually has a repeater system in there. So our radios, anywhere in that building work. So that's something I kind of bring up as a caveat. We really should make sure that our building department keeps up on that and any of these commercial structures. I forgot Matt Whalen had sent me the law. I have the law and I can send that over, but it's something we should hold them accountable for. It's something they have to pay for. It's part of the building code for, I believe, all commercial structures, new construction. But it's something that really helps emergency services when you get at these bigger buildings. We had the same thing when we used to go down to the old ShopRite. When you went inside, you had no radio communication. So should that be a change of use, that might have to have the study done.
And what is a repeater? Is it like
A
a Wi-Fi box kind of?
It's pretty much like a
thing?
Wi-Fi box. It
Yeah.
takes like your cell phone repeater. It would take our radio transmission in, send it through the internet of the building, and then come out on another box.
Okay.
So
So
it's
is
really,
it expensive? Is it hard to do?
they're not that, I don't,
Okay.
everything's expensive, but I don't think it's hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Okay.
Probably in the $10,000 range, $15,000 range. I mean, they're not big, depending on what kind of system. There's engineering that goes into what they need and how many they need. But for example, Bedford Central has in all their schools for their radio system.
Okay.
And talking with Dave G, our technology person at the school, he's like, listen, if you tell us what we need, we utilize, but we'd probably get you another one for the PD frequency. So that's something we're going to work on. Once we get our system up and running, we might say with these new 3 sites, wow, we got great service, but we don't know until it's really up and running.
Right.
So, summary, the new system is going to deliver modern, reliable communication. Where we're at now with the system is pretty much all the infrastructure has been installed. We were waiting on one thing for the prison, which is our final site. Once that's all up and running, the next stage will be taking the equipment, getting it all interconnected, and taking our old system offline. They'll test it internally and then turn on. So we're within probably the next month or 2, we should be up and running and beta testing it. Motorola has their engineers come in, they check all their calibrations. A lot of our sites from back in the day, I don't know if you were even involved with this, we had a department out in Jersey that used to send us all these nasty gram letters because we're overpowering them. And it got to the point where we're using another vendor, and they're like, "Oh, just get them off your back. Turn the wattage down." And then it done that. When we started doing this radio work, they're like, "Why is this?" FCC says what height you should be at and what wattage you should be at. And we were at the height, but we weren't at the wattage. And I'm like, I remember back when Eddie Collins was chief at the time. we had this nasty ran from, and we were going back and forth to the Jersey department, and they just like, oh, just turn the volume down. And they did that, and it came back to say, why'd you do that? Because this department, they didn't want to deal with it at the time. So all that stuff had to get recorrected, so we're at the right heights, we're at the right wattage, because FCC dictates.
Well,
where
and
we're
we
supposed
did interference studies with all the other equipment.
Correct.
And
So that's all been done. So
yes.
there was a lot of engineering that went into making sure this new system's going to work right and be future proof. So, like I said, we're on the final stage. We got the Crown Castle thing. So, all our vehicles are installed with the new radios. We've been using them, the portables. So, I'm hoping within the next month or two we'll be up and running, and then we will probably take ownership of the system probably by the end of the year, beginning of 2026, and then we'll have the year of them working on any kind of problems or kinks. The modernization, reliability of the communication has been what we've kind of really pushed on. We wanted to make it scalable, so down the road it wouldn't be, oh, we're going to change this frequency, but we can't use it on our radio. So we really went to the best product we could go to help us down the road. With townwide coverage and redundancy was important. Interoperability and regional emergency services. We have a major Sandy or something that comes through here, and we have departments from wherever coming. There's now mutual aid frequencies that we can all talk on and utilize for a major emergency. And I'll open to any questions.
Thank you so much.
I mean, I know there's a lot, but
I know that the board has been hearing about this for a long
Yeah.
time. There's been, we approved the new equipment purchase with the technology grant, which was a big number.
Yeah.
It might have been like $500,000 or something.
yeah, I believe
For all the new equipment.
the radio equipment alone, portables and radios and mobiles, were about 600,000. And it was 1 point something, I think, for the actual infrastructure system.
Right. And so, with the grant money of over $1 million, 1.4, I think, or something from the state, it was able to cover a lot of that. But we, when we approve the contracts for things, we say, and that'll work with the new system. Like we allude to the new system, but I don't think everybody heard like the full scale of all of the things that have gone into the new system and what it really will do, which is amazing capability in building and cross frequencies and really departments. And, looking forward to testing it all out in like a emergency operations center scenarios so that we know that it would work if we had a major, Sandy type storm or some kind of, attack, God forbid, there's all kinds of scenarios.
And the simple things like the turkey trot, these events that we've been doing, the parades, have been a tremendous, everybody at headquarters is so happy because it used to be you'd be on a traffic stop or you'd be going on a real job. And they're like, oh, this post, can you shut down? Can you do that? So now when we have an event, we put them onto one frequency and desk is, and our normal road 911 chatter is on one frequency. So that's really helped. And that's what the multiple frequencies really help us. We can utilize, we have 2 or 3 events. We can, oh, you're on this channel, you're on that channel. And our normal day-to-day is on this channel. So the people on the desk are hearing it all, but the people that are at these different events are just hearing what they need to hear. And they're not stepping over someone that might be doing CPR or something, a hot call that they're going to, and not get that information. So that's really where the multiple frequencies come in.
Great.
Tremendous.
Good. Excellent. Any questions?
Like I said, the only thing I can hit home is we really need to look at future planning down the road.
So if there is a way to work on something for us to build into the capital plan, that would be helpful because I think we do have a plan that goes out 10 years, and so starting to think about
maybe I can work with ESS, our vendor, and say, listen, is there something that you and Motorola can recommend to give to the town board as a future proofing or some kind of budgetary thing to down the future? We really should replace this piece of equipment this year and give us a timeline. I think would be helpful for everybody.
That would be great. We would really appreciate that because that capital plan can go out as far as we want to just sort of look at what those marks might be. We think that over maybe some other things in that year ahead. So great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Really,
This is
great.
Thank you guys.
I didn't know when I started this job how much I would learn about radio communications. So thank you.
Yeah, there's a lot. Even sometimes I'm like, Time it down for me. It's like some of these guys are really into it. Like,
Right. No, I've been to the wireless committee meetings. It's a different level. Thank you so
all
much.
right, thank you.
Okay, great. Another thing under old business, the town board passed a resolution, I think back in the spring, about taking the Mayor's Monarch Pledge, which really is committing our town to doing a certain number of actions in the year that will protect pollinators and monarchs. And we have our member of our conservation board here, Philippine Hoogland, who just finished compiling our report for the year to report back that we did many of those actions. So thank you for being a part of many of those actions, but also submitting the report so that we are listed as a compliant monarch saving town on the National Wildlife Federation.
Well, actually, we are a leader now.
We are a leader. Okay, good. So tell us about it,
Well,
Philippine.
you summarized
Thank
it
you for
already
coming.
a little bit, but for the other audience, let me explain. In 2015, the National Wildlife Federation launched a program, the Monarch Pledge, for supervisors and municipalities. And if people are not familiar with monarchs, they are an iconic butterfly, orange and black, and they are here in the summer months, but they hibernate together in Mexico every winter. So there's a great migration going on with this butterfly. Sadly, the numbers of monarchs have fallen by more than 80% in the last 50 years. And to help reverse this decline, we have this pledge. And Bedford does this together with another 14 municipalities in Westchester, so we are in good company. And the idea is that every community is committed to a number of action topics, and we have completed, I think, about 28 now, and we have only 2 left for next year. I think it's important to understand that it's not just the monarchs that this pledge is about. All our insects are in big peril. We have lost about 70% of some of our insect species. And as a result of that, we also lost 30% of our birds because a lot of birds depend on insect as a food source. I would really like to congratulate our town for its dedication for sustainable landscaping. So we can create safer habitats, and we have done so in our town, and we hope residents are going to be aboard too. It's actually pretty easy to create safer habitats. I will explain it quickly. Plant more native species. The native plants is what our insects rely on. Avoid all insecticides, and that means especially consider very carefully the tick treatments. Also, organic and non-organic, they're both very harmful for our pollinators. Keep outdoor areas dark at night, and reduce leaf blower activity wherever you can. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And is
Oh
there
yeah, I
a
wanted to
place?
say, sorry.
Is there a
People-
place our report can be seen?
Yes, that's a Wildlife Federation website, and then just type in Monarch Pledge, and then you can see which towns are participating, and you can see a summary of activities they've been active in. And we would welcome everybody to connect with the Conservation Board if they have any questions.
Thank you. So some of the things that we've done this year that Vernda's points include, like last week's seed swap,
Exactly.
and there's photos and things like that on
Yes.
the report.
Yes, but
Okay.
also I think our parks and recreation departments and our highway department,
Oh, yes.
just left, but they all have been very helpful in this.
Right,
Good.
they have been. We have the meadow at Katona Pool. That's a
Yeah.
pollinator meadow.
We have electric equipment.
Electric equipment, right. They mulch the leaves as long as they can before.
Yeah, and I think we went through a dark sky ordinance in our town with Chris Burdick. That's something that residents often don't realize, but their lights that they have on at night are really harmful for wildlife. So yeah, put them off when you don't need them.
Turn the lights off when
Yeah.
you don't need them. Okay, good. So we'll review the actions that we've
Congratulations, you too.
taken. Thank you. And yes, the leaf
We'll
blower.
see you next year.
Yes, see.
National Wildlife Federation. Yep.
And we'll have to recertify the actions next year and try to do the other.
Well, the
ones
next year
remaining.
is, I think it's mostly about making sure that different communities are all being involved, also those that don't speak English, and that our materials are in sort of reflection of that as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Good, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. So we'll look to maybe take the pledge again next year. Thank you. Okay, under new business, we have a request by Comptroller Keneally to approve the abstract of claims and paid priors in the amount of $1,435,354.03. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We have a request by the Budget Officer, Comptroller Keneally, to adopt the tentative 2026 budget and set a hearing on the 2026 preliminary budget for November 18th at 6:30 p.m. Do we have a motion to approve, to adopt the tentative budget and set the public hearing?
Motion to approve.
Second.
So there will be a full presentation of the budget as we have, we had a work session last week and went through it with some of the bigger departments on their major changes and some of the sort of required increases that we have to make. And we will be adjusting it to remove the $1.8 million that was in there for the library. So that will bring the number down in our budget by that amount. But there'll be a presentation on the 18th and we'll hear any other comments to be made on it at that time. Any questions about that? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We have a request to approve intermunicipal agreement with Westchester County for the use of the county firing range, subject to town attorney final review. It's just a contract we enter into periodically. It's for 4 years or something. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We have a request from Personnel Director Orr to approve the appointment of Bianca Nimchek as Senior Office Assistant in the Building Department, effective on or about November 24th, 2025. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
I see Building Inspector Sirocco is here. Are you here for this item on the agenda, Al?
Yeah.
Okay, would you like to say anything?
We're very excited about bringing her on and, can't wait till she starts. So,
Yes, since Donna retired in July?
yes.
Okay.
So it's been a while and, we can't wait to get her in. So we're very excited.
Excellent. And the
Was-
department is moving rapidly towards launching the city. What's it called? Connect, City Squared
Squared. So
platform.
it will be helpful to bring her on so Bianca will learn the system right from the get-go. So
Great. And hopefully that will help with communication to permittees, knowing when their applications are moving forward or when there's an issue, and digitizing a lot of our records in that way. So,
we're looking forward to it.
good. Thanks, Al.
Thank
Any
you.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a notification from Personnel Director on the employment of Anthony Curro for the position of automotive mechanic, effective on or about November 10th, 2025. We have a motion to, I guess it's just a notification, so to accept the notification.
Motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We have a request from the town clerk to approve and co-sponsor the Bedford Village menorah lighting on Sunday, December 14th. There's an application by Chabad in the packet and information about the co-sponsorship for police coverage, I believe, and traffic safety. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries, and that adds to the long list of holiday festivities that business associations and groups have applied for to occur, including the next one. We have a request to approve Bedford Village Shine Bright event on Friday, December 5th, 2025, with a packet attached and cost for police, again, to assist with people crossing the street. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. That is, both of those events have been growing in popularity, so those are fun days ahead. We also have a request by the town clerk to approve the Ticking Tent event on Saturday, November 15th, which will be a ticketed event behind OHO on the Village Green. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Questions? Discussion? I had asked earlier today about the notification to the other businesses and the church, if that was communicated to them that was happening. Everyone is full on. And is there there's a parking plan as well?
Yes, and we did receive email proof from the church next door that they had spoken about parking and it was authorized by them and they're in agreement.
Okay.
So we
And
had
there's-
asked for that proof and to make sure that there's no issues that day.
Miscommunication. Great. And there is additional parking available elsewhere. They're doing
Yes.
something for parking.
They're organizing parking for the attendees, and my understanding of it, based on the planning meetings of the event, is that each ticketed individual will be told where to park so that not everybody is flooding to the same parking location. Essentially, it'll be spreading the parking out through the lots that they've organized parking out.
Okay.
So it'll
like-
be communicated with the ticket so that people are not showing up like, which of these 4 lots am I parking in?
Okay.
They're actually telling people, from our understanding, ahead of time. where
Are
to
they
park.
using the park, like the Bedford Village Memorial Park or
We
Hawthorne
were told
School?
they were using the park and the school.
Okay, great.
Right, and from my understanding, the event is kind of divided up by times, so I
Right.
know that there are tiered tickets and the
Okay.
morning tickets are a
Right.
higher level, and I think people will not
Correct.
all be descending at the same time.
Then there's like lunch tickets, and then
Right.
there's like last call tickets.
Last
that
call
are,
tickets are
from
like 3
2 to
o'clock or the
whatever.
lower number, so I think by that time, a lot of the early people will have been gone.
Okay, great. And we're not co-sponsoring. This is just approving a lot of activity in the hamlet on that day.
Right, because it's not benefiting a
It's not a
Um,
not-for-profit.
correct.
Okay, so the
So
police
there's-
are being paid directly by the
Yeah.
organizer. Okay. I mean, I think it's great for bringing a lot of new people into Bedford Village, and hopefully they will support the other businesses in the area and get a sense of it being a desirable place to come back to and shop and go to the Playhouse and eat in a restaurant. So I think it's a positive thing. Any other comments or questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. And thanks, Ally, for coordinating with everybody on all these events. It's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. So thank you. We have a request to appoint members to the Recreation and Parks Advisory Committee, and I think we could add another. Hold on. Let me see who's on the memo. Can't remember. We've met with several people who have applied, so I'd like to make a motion that we approve Steph Lang to be newly appointed through December 21st, 2028. Maria Marcolese to be reappointed through December 21st, 2028, because they're all 21st, 2028. Rob Murray to be appointed through December 21st, 2028. Nancy Bellini to be appointed through December 21st, 2028, and John Samoya, who we interviewed this evening, also to be appointed for the same term through December 21st, 2028. Do we have a second?
Second.
Just a quick question. So these are reappointments and some new appointments as well? Or-
Yes, so Christina
Oh, I forgot her last name.
Magnuson.
Magison, that's right, has indicated she doesn't want to reapply. She's served for many years and we really appreciate her service. I don't have the formal I guess it's you reapply. So she chose not to reapply.
Right.
So Steph Lang is from Bedford Village. There's a certain number that have to be from each hamlet. And so Christina, as a Bedford Village resident, is not reapplying. So Steph Lang would be filling that Bedford Village seat.
Okay.
And a lot of these people have been serving, and Steph Lang brought a lot of good ideas and interest. We have been talking to, as you know, all of the Recreation and Parks Advisory Committee applicants about there being a little more project work going on with the committee. They all expressed interest in helping the department with some of the things that are beyond what the department can regularly spend time on, things like data collection for how people found out about the event, or who are the people who are attending the events, and who maybe, if there are any gaps in programming and events. There's also perhaps some interest in some of the members working on a Parks Capital Plan, getting input from the community on upcoming projects like the new Katona Playground that we're going to be planning for in the upcoming year, changes to the Bedford Hills Pool, which needs renovation and some community work there, and other potential capital projects. We are talking to DEP and moving ahead on a fishing boat program. Perhaps somebody on the committee would like to help with that, but we'll be working on some agreements with them to allow the town to own a couple of the fishing boats and rent them out to residents who are interested in that. So instead of, because those boats are, there's years waiting lists to get those boats that are all around the reservoirs, but it's hard to, so giving people an opportunity to take advantage of having an opportunity to use one of those boats without having to own one is something we've been talking about doing, and so happy that we're moving that forward. But again, another program that maybe a subcommittee of the Recreation and Parks Advisory Committee could help with. And also just they are all interested in helping in other ways, showing up and helping at events if they can, or tabling at an event to get feedback. So that was conversations that we've had in the interviews, and can confidently say the people we interviewed are very interested in rolling up their sleeves and doing even more than what they've already been doing, as they do serve on this committee. Many of them already serve on the committee and do a good amount of work. So looking forward to hearing more about how we can hear what they have going on, and how we can, if the board has priorities going forward, what they would like to see happening there as well. Anything else?
I think you covered it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Here it is, Madison. Christina. So we do thank Christina for all of her service on the committee. Are there any we have one more request to appoint member to the Wetlands Control Commission. This is another one we've had been advertising for a while. We have Charles, I don't see the
Naranjo.
memo on here, Naranjo, who it has been recommended that we appoint Charles to be an alternate member till the next term starts up. We've had, I think at our last meeting, we accepted the resignation of Jen Falstrom, who, due to her current work for the DEP, had to resign from the Wetlands Commission. Her term, I think, is due to renew in January, so that we appoint Charles as an alternate until the term renews in January, and then that he be appointed as a full member in January 20th, 2026. So I'd like to make a motion that we appoint him as an alternate through January, and then as a full member as of January 20th. And that was also the recommendation of the Wetlands Chair. So Charles has more time to learn as an alternate, and then becomes a full member in January.
So moved. Did you make the motion?
You just made the
Okay,
motion.
thought that was first.
So do we have a
Now we
second?
have double motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries. I think we still would then have room for an alternate on the Wetlands Commission come January, if there's anyone else interested in taking on that role. And I believe that Andrew Messenger has indicated he is not interested in renewing it, as a member at that time, which is going to be a challenge because he's currently serving as the chair. So anyone interested, or if you know anyone who's interested in wetlands, we can use more members and a new chair at that time. Any public comments at this time? Any board member announcements? Andres.
Next Thursday, the Blue Mountain Housing Development Corporation is hosting the Bedford Housing Forum. It's a community conversation on affordable housing. As I said, next Thursday, November 13th from 6:15 to 8 p.m. The town isn't hosting this event, but we're encouraging as many residents as possible to be part of this very important conversation, thinking about how we passed our comprehensive plan earlier this year, and we're looking to get feedback from the community on, how exactly we can move forward on this issue, and just bringing together as many different stakeholders as possible. It's very important, so just wanted to put a plug in for that. We'll have Blue Mountain will have a panel of local experts, Julie Stern and Tom McGrath from Blue Mountain. Also Sadie McCowan, she's the president of the Community Preservation Corp, as well as Blanca Lopez, the Commissioner of Planning for Westchester County. And there will be an open Q&A discussion and also an opportunity to provide comments, speaking not only on the facts, but also lived experience, and just building conversation and hopefully consensus around an issue that doesn't have to be polarizing. So just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think we did hear a lot of data from Adam Bosch at Pattern for Progress about the need for a diversity of housing and housing that is affordable to people at many different income levels and attainable. So, right, it's the numbers of people in our community who are struggling with their current housing being cost burdened by it is what we're pretty astounding, and diversity of housing is something that is highlighted in our plan. So it'll be interesting to hear what Blue Mountain recommends from that forum, and if there's anything. I think we noted that our current law has provisions in it about certain percentage of AMI being required to be built, but then it makes it hard to build anything in sort of the middle range of affordability. So that's something that if there's a recommendation for how we can do better when, for example, someone builds 5 apartments and one has to be at that lower affordability level, the other ones are really expensive. So is there any recommendation for us to modify our current legislation so that we have a range of housing options, not just super high or sort of lower, what's in the middle. And I think I said that at the Adam Bosch presentation too, like we're just trying to understand what our current laws are driving and where there may be gaps.
Yeah,
So
and I think
that'll be interesting to hear.
Yeah, and tying affordable housing to broader issues like economic vitality and keeping our schools open. I've heard from constituents in the Bedford Hills Elementary School that there was a risk of closure there because of limited enrollment, and I think Adam talked a lot about that, and that being a significant risk for the community, losing our schools or losing funding. And as we're trying to revitalize or continuing to revitalize, more housing means more families, shopping local, and keeping our districts, our commercial districts strong and vibrant. So, it all ties together, and I hope folks can see the broader issues at play as well.
Right. I look forward to hearing what comes out of that conversation. So,
Same.
okay. There
I
is,
have one.
go ahead.
I wanted to mention, you were probably going to anyway, but I'm just so excited about it. I wanted to mention the first Westchester Book Festival happening on Saturday. It is going to be pretty much throughout the entire day in Katona. There are ticketed events. You can go online. I think it's westchesterbookfest.org. And there are overflow seats and they're online. There are some that still have openings. There are businesses who are having authors come and do workshops and activities for kids, book signings. There is one who's doing like a wine pairing with certain books. They are having at the Katona Museum of Art, they're having things. It's all going to be all throughout the day, all over the town, and they are engaging everybody from libraries to bookstores to eateries to everybody. So it's going to be really exciting. A lot of people descending on town, which is only going to be an amazing thing.
Thank you. Fantastic. Sunday is our Veterans Celebration. We welcome everyone in the community to come. There'll be food, there'll be music, there'll be a ceremony. It's a really nice opportunity to thank those who have served and celebrate, them. And it's a lovely event. So it'll be the 3rd annual. And more information will be in the newsletter. There is also an event recognizing historic building preservation. There'll be some buildings highlighted and a reception at our next meeting starting at 5:30, November 18th, and a little presentation at the beginning of our meeting to recognize historic building preservation and lift that up. And KVIS is having their town forum next week on the 12th with several representatives from the town, the police, DPW, Rec and Parks, and I will be there as well to answer a host of questions from the Katona community. And the gas-powered leaf blower ban has been lifted until December 7th for cleaning up great quantities of leaf debris. And I think that was all that was on my list. If there is no further business, this meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everyone.